Hi again from the garden. So we're about 3 to 4 weeks out from our average last frost date, and so I have been out in the garden today prepping and amending my soil so that when it is finally warm enough to plant, I have everything ready to go. Now, I never used to amend my soil. I would just plug the plants in the ground and water them. But last year I realized what a huge difference it makes when I amend my garden soil. So in addition to this garden, we have a large raised bed garden at home. In mid-season last year, I realized that things just weren't looking as good as they could. We weren't getting a ton of tomatoes, zucchini, or cucumbers, and so mid-season I ended up pulling some plants out of the ground. And then I started doing some reading in a gardening book that I had, and I was reading about amending the soil. And so I went and got a couple of bags of organic raised bed mix, and I topped off one of the areas of my garden, and then I planted another round of green beans, and it made a huge difference. So this year I decided to amend all of my planting beds, and I'm transitioning everything over to no-dig gardening. One of the main benefits of no-dig gardening is you're maintaining the soil life. So it's pretty simple. When you plant your plants in the ground every year, they use the nutrients in the soil to grow. And then the next year, when you plant new plants, you need to replenish those nutrients in the ground. And so that's what I've been doing today. So if you're new to my channel, this garden is an urban garden, and it's located downtown right next door to my photography studio, and it's about 30 by 50 in size, and in it I grow both cut flowers and vegetables. This will be just the second year that I am planting in this particular space, and so it has gone through a lot of changes already this year. One of them including my new greenhouse. So this main bed is divided into a couple different planting areas. All of the space right around the greenhouse will be all cut flowers, and then on this side of the path, this area will be all vegetables just like it was last year. I've reformatted things a little bit from last year, and today I've gone in and I have topped all of the soil, and then I have mulched my pathways all with wood chips. So since this is just the second year planting in this area, all of my soil is still a little bit compact, and so before I topped it with the amendments, I wanted to go in and loosen the soil just a little bit. I didn't want to till it because that's not what you do when you're no-dig gardening. So I just simply took my potato fork and I loosened the soil just a little bit. Then I topped it with my amendments, and then that also will help the amendments mix in with the existing soil. So to amend this soil, I used a few different things. The first is compost, which I make myself. I posted a video recently making my new compost bin, so I'll link that down below in the description. And then the other two things that I used were bags of organic garden soil and organic raised bed mix. I thought the garden soil by itself was just a little bit too lightweight, and the raised bed mix had a lot of great nutrients in it, such as bone meal, kelp meal, and worm castings, which are all super great natural fertilizers for the soil. So I topped off all of my beds with a good 2 to 3 inches of that mixture, and that should give everything enough nutrients for the season. Now when I do go in to plant my plants, such as my peppers and tomatoes, really any of my vegetables, I'll be putting worm castings in the hole with the plant, and that will give it that extra boost it needs. So this raised bed has also been amended, but I did it a little bit different than the other beds. This bed will be planted with pro-cut sunflowers, and sunflowers will pretty much grow anywhere, and so I knew that they did not need all of the nutrients that the rest of my garden needed. So I came into this bed, I loosened the soil again, and then I topped this with a topsoil. Topsoil is a mixture of soil and sand helps to loosen up soil that's compacted or has clay in it. This particular dirt that we had put in this bed when we built it was not very good, and it actually had some rocks in it. So I think the topsoil will really help improve this soil. And this bed will be designated every year as the sunflower bed. Alright, well that's it for this video, and it checks one more project off my list. I wasn't really sure if I was even going to do a video about this, but I thought it might be helpful to some of you, because it definitely was helpful to me when I learned last year. So the next big project on the list is my pergola that I'll be building, and then there's just some pathways that I need to mulch, and hopefully in a few weeks I'll be planting everything. So this garden is going to go through a huge transformation this year, so stay tuned. We'll see you soon.